So we need to repeat. Luke chapter 21, verses 1 to 4. When Jesus looked up, he saw some wealthy people putting their offerings into the treasury. And he noticed a poor widow putting in 2 small coins. He said, "I tell you truly, this poor widow put in more than all the rest. For those others have all made offerings from their surplus wealth. But she, from her poverty, has offered her whole livelihood." That is a reading from the Gospel of Luke chapter 21, verses 1 to 4. Well, there's nothing wrong, really, when rich people and wealthy people would put in offerings that are actually from their surplus wealth. You know, that's why they estimated it as, well, 10%. 10% is still surplus, isn't it? You still have 90. You see, it doesn't really touch essentially what is yours. You still have 90, and you only give 10%. That's practically nothing. And so, most probably, the wealthy people were giving their tithes, their surplus wealth, 10%. But the poor widow is not only putting 10%, but 100%, 2 small coins. More than all the rest and everything that she had to live on. Now, Jesus was comparing the 2 givers and telling those listening to him who has been seen by God as righteous in his eyes. And of course, it was the poor widow. Now, why the poor widow? The rich people are actually doing this thing out of obligation. They're doing it out of obligation. 10%, they have to give 10%. It's an obligation. They have to fulfill it. But then the widow wasn't doing it from obligation. She was doing it from her heart. She was doing it because she wanted to do it, and because she knows that when she gives everything to the Lord will bring it back to her. It is actually a total trust in God to give everything to God. Well, those people who had surplus wealth, they give 10%. Well, they can relax, they can sleep well, they can eat well. Anyway, what is 10%? You see, to give out, to part away with 10%, that is practically nothing. You can still live a beautiful and comfortable life, but not the poor widow. She has to give everything, and that would really, practically, radically change everything in her life. She can go hungry. She will no longer have any provisions. So this is exactly what Jesus is saying. It is not the amount that he is after, but it is the kind of faith in the giving that this poor widow exercised.